Hey everyone, it's Emily, and today we are building a cute little fall house in The Sims. Super basic, but these are the kinds of things that I like to build, and this is literally the first build in the last year, I think, that I've built that I didn't stream or make for any. I mean, I recorded it for YouTube, obviously, so I made it for a reason, but I just opened the game and built without an audience, which was weird because even in like the last few uploads that I've done, which have been like very few over the last year, if you're new or this is like way in the future and none of this is relevant anymore, then you probably don't know what I'm talking about. Short history of my channel. I started YouTube a few years ago. I uploaded pretty consistently for the first 2 years of my channel, mostly speed builds, tried to do some other stuff, didn't really work out, then became only speed builds. It was a great time, loved it, don't really know why I stopped doing it, but I did. Actually, I do know why, but we're not going to get into all of that. Since last July, June, I guess right after Island Living came out, to give context related to the whole Sims community. I went to EA Play, got to play Island Living, the game came out, you never saw from me again. No one ever heard from me. I don't even know if I posted anything after my Island Living content on YouTube. I really think I didn't post a single thing. I've streamed on Twitch off and on, more on in the last 2 months. I've been streaming a lot of Animal Crossing. Yeah, pretty much nothing for me until a month, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Oh my god, it's been a while. So I posted one video on YouTube and I was like, hey guys, I'm back. We're doing it again. I'm going to stream again. I'm going to make YouTube videos again. It's going to be great. And then I just streamed Animal Crossing. And a little bit of The Sims. I built a few things on stream that I've also recorded, and I'm like, I was going to make these into speed builds and we're going to do YouTube. And like I said, it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. I'm doing all the things I love again because life isn't so bad anymore. And then I just didn't. Because, once again, life. I had to move out of the house I was living in, so that was wild. I've been looking for a job. I found a job, have been doing stuff with that, and then honestly, the reason why I'm making this is because of this new job that I just started. I've been wanting to start YouTube again for literally since I stopped. I never really wanted to stop, but it was just, I took on too many responsibilities at once. Then life stuff made it hard to do anything, so I dropped like almost everything I was doing except school and work because I couldn't just drop those. You know, I'm in a better place now, so I'm ready to do things. And starting my channel again was one of the things that I never got to on that list of, oh, I'm gonna start doing things that make me feel more like me again. Like, I started Twitch again. What else have I done? I don't know, I started playing games for fun again. This month, I've started reading again, which I haven't seriously read probably since high school, because through college, you have too many classes and assignments and studying and stuff that you don't really have time to read for fun when you're taking university classes. At least, I mean, you probably do if you make time for it, but I never made time for it. So now, this month, I've actually started reading so much, and I love it. I think, for me, with everything that's happened to me in the last year in my personal life, I've focused so much on those things in my free time. I'm using air quotes, but you can't see me. So just to give you that added context, in my free time, I've just spent all this time dwelling, and I think it's been really bad for me instead of just taking things as they come and, you know, not making them worse in my head than they need to be. So reading has actually gotten me out of my own head, and I've been able to use my free time as true free time, because even if I was doing something, I think honestly, part of the reason why I stopped making videos, even though I was streaming speed builds and then I would just speed them up and do the voiceover after, most of my time before, I used to just build on my own. And I started YouTube before I streamed, so I would just build on my own as usual, except I would record it and then talk to myself later. Whereas when you're streaming, you're like talking as you're doing it. So that's like one of the things when I started streaming, and I was like, oh, this is a hobby that gets me out of my head, which is good. But then with building and playing games alone, at least with building in The Sims, with some games you have to give it more of your undivided attention, but with building in The Sims, I feel like once you get in a groove of like, oh, I like these clutter items and putting these things together, then you can do it a little bit more mindlessly and your mind can wander and overthink things, which I find myself doing a lot. So I think that's why getting back into The Sims was not one of my top priorities when I was realizing that I was dwelling on things. I don't know if any of this makes sense out of context of my life, but I'm just trying to explain where I've been, I guess. Oh, my little recording thing stopped. Why did I even go on this tangent? Oh no, my program's not. Oh, my program just crashed. That is good to know. Okay, anyway, so the reason why I started this tangent, and also the reason why I started making this video or decided to make a video, was because I've been wanting to start YouTube again for the longest time. I don't know how many times I've said that alone in these last 5-6 minutes, but I started this new job and I needed to learn how to use a new editing software for it. And I thought, what better way to learn how to use this new editing software than to make a video for YouTube and edit it with the software? Because then I do the thing I've been wanting to do in my free time. I don't feel like I'm just doing something for work in my free time. And it's a win-win all around, but the software just crashed, so that's good for me to know that that happens. So now that we have my nonsense life out of the way, well, I'm waiting for this program to open again because it just crashed on me, which is so rude. I thought that only Premiere was allowed to crash on me. To actually talk about the house for once, we have a cute little 1-bedroom. I don't know if you guys can hear my parents' dog. She's like shaking and her collar's jingling. We have a cute little 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. These are my favorite to build because pretty much every type of house I build like this, where it's just 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, super small house or apartment or something, is like a version of my dream house / living space. And this is no exception. I would be perfectly happy to live here. Probably not forever, but for a while. It seems very comfy for the fall time. And why is the timeline like this? I'm trying to learn how to use this editing software just right during this voiceover, which is great. I have no idea where I left off in this because I wanted to comment on the build, but now I can't. You know what? How long have I been recording this? Like 7 minutes? We're gonna go to 7 minutes in this video, and then I'm gonna do some editing magic to just line it all up. Oh, we already passed? Okay, well, if this is starting at 7 minutes, okay. I made this thing that's probably not on the screen right now, but next to the fireplace, made these built-in shelves, super fun. I sped that up extra in this because I love cluttering in The Sims, but it takes so long, and my brain forgot everything it knew about The Sims in the last year, where the cool clutter items are, where my favorite plant is in the build by catalog, all of that out of my brain. It left. It was not living rent-free. It was paying rent and it got evicted. I don't know, that metaphor did not work out, but basically, I just can't remember where anything is in the game anymore. I've started to a little bit because, like I said, I've been streaming again. I built a few things on stream that I recorded and I was like, I'm totally going to post this on YouTube, and then I just straight up didn't. I still have the footage for the 2 things I built over the last couple months. I've also done a lot of room builds. If you like little dollhouse room builds, I'll put one on the screen now maybe. But I build those sometimes on stream and then I'll post them on Twitter because I like editing them, and I don't know, I just think they're cute and fun. I've been doing that occasionally when I don't feel like playing Animal Crossing, which isn't very often. Another thing about Animal Crossing, I don't know how many of you guys are into that game, still obsessed with it like we all were back in April, but I played it so much, and I still play it more than I'd say the average person does. Like, I feel like most people who picked it up at the beginning of quarantine don't even play it anymore, but I still do. I just only play it when I'm streaming, so I'll play like 3 or 4 days in a 2-hour time window, or like 2 to 3 hour time window, and then I just don't touch it again for like 3 to 4 days, and then I pick it back up again, and it's becoming a vicious cycle to where every time I stream I feel like I need to accomplish all these things in the game, and it just never happens. And I'm also trying to decorate my island, but I don't even really get to work on that because I'm spending all this time catching up. The thing is, I don't really find myself when I'm not streaming ever wanting to pick up the game. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because now I'm like, well, I do this thing when I stream, so I don't ever want to do it in my free time, using air quotes again with free time, because what even is free time? I don't know. I'm also tired. I just went for a walk and took a shower and I'm starving, but it's not really time for me to eat dinner yet. So I honestly almost didn't even record this voiceover. You have no idea how many times over the last year, that's not even an exaggeration. The last probably more than a year, honestly, almost a year and a half, I have sat down and built a whole thing in The Sims, or built half a thing in The Sims, decided, nah, don't feel like doing this, but I really want to do YouTube again, so why wouldn't I just do it, because I miss doing this thing that used to bring me so much joy, but I'm just gonna stop myself from enjoying life, I don't know. And I've sat down, I've even recorded a whole video, I've done everything, and then I go to do the voiceover, and I just don't do it. I've even edited the video. I've done all the screenshots. Sometimes I've done everything. I've recorded the voiceover. I just haven't taken screenshots yet, and it just hasn't been uploaded. And I have all these projects just sitting on my computer over the past year that probably won't ever see the light of day, to be honest, because they're old and outdated and don't have all the new packs and whatever. Yeah, speaking of packs, are we excited about the new snowy pack? Because I know I am. We, as in me, myself, and I in this room, are very excited about it. I'm interested to see if it incorporates seasons. Like, is it always snowy in this world? Does the world always look snowy, but then it's only actively snowing in the winter? How is that going to work? I have a lot of questions. I think all of the snowy activities are going to be really cool, especially to like cross over with seasons. I want to know if we can use the sleds and stuff outside of the new world. Now, this is just my thoughts on the new pack. Welcome to the speed build, where I don't really talk about what I did in the build, except the one little clutter thing I figured out. This is literally nothing has changed. I feel like most of the time I would just ramble about life, which is what I literally just did, except I give you very little details about my actual life, so it's all probably making no sense. And then, you know, we talk about like my one little cool clutter trick that I figured out, which in this case was like that whole fireplace area. I think is super fun. Very proud of it. Okay, what I was gonna say with that. And then also me talking about things that aren't on the screen when I'm talking. That happens every video. Welcome, hi if you're new. Another thing that's so weird to me about recording again is that I forgot that this happens because, okay, when you're really in practice with recording and just talking to yourself, if you're like podcasting or YouTube voiceovering, I don't know how many people this applies to and what situations, but if you're used to talking to yourself for some purpose, then you get to a practice of it to where there's just a flow. But when you don't do it for a while, you don't have that flow. Makes sense, as with pretty much any activity. Wow, this is revolutionary, groundbreaking stuff happening here on this channel. I forgot that sometimes there are just these giant gaps that I'm gonna go back in and edit this and trim out all the parts where I messed up what I was saying and had to re-say it, where I just literally sat and stared at the screen for a whole minute. That definitely did not just happen. It's not gonna sound like anything to you. It's gonna sound like I'm sitting here having a normal, flowing, continuous conversation with myself. If you can really truly have a normal, flowing, continuous conversation with yourself, that's the goal anyway, is to portray that that's what's happened. But that's not what happened here. What happened here is I just stared at the screen for a whole minute saying nothing because mid-sentence I fully lost my train of thought. I don't think anyone else notices it. Everyone else just thinks that I talk at 10 million miles a minute, words a minute, miles a minute. I don't know what phrase I was going for there, but you know, everyone in the comments is just like, you talk too fast, as they do to most YouTubers that talk relatively quickly, except when they don't know what they're about to say and talk at a much slower, unnatural speed. But with the magic of editing, it seems like we never stop talking. And I, once again, don't really know where that was going, but it's a thing that I said, and now you have this information. Very out of practice. Moving on. Ooh, another cool thing, once again, this voiceover is so all over the place. I don't know how this is going to line up with the actual video, but I did this thing with the lanterns from, I think they're from Seasons, but I kind of put them along the roof line. I'm doing things with my hands, like hand gestures, that no one can see to try to convey what I'm talking about. But the little lanterns that hang from, I want to say the banister, but it's not a banister because that's like the thing by the stairs, like a stair railing. My way of describing things today is just really on another level, but I sized them down and then raised them up and hid them in the columns so they look cute. I wanted to do some sort of string light thing outside, and I just like using all the pumpkins and all the fall stuff. I don't know, fall is my favorite season and it doesn't last nearly long enough. At least where I live in Georgia, it's literally, we get 2 weeks of pretty leaves and then it's winter. The weather isn't even that cold yet. Like, it's 80 degrees today. What's up with that? I think the video's over, probably. We'll see. This voiceover is a disaster. But anyway, subscribe if you like speed builds and nonsense talk. I will hopefully see you soon. Bye, friends.